Forever Evil Rogues Rebellion number 2, written by Brian Buccellato, art by Scott Hepburn. So last issue, we had the rogues basically refusing to attack a hospital and being attacked by Firestorm's villains, and then all of a sudden Deathstorm and Power Ring showed up. Now, the first half of this book was actually covered pretty much panel for panel in Forever Evil number 2, but they did again here with just very slight elaborations. So Central City, whole city's going to crap, and Deathstorm's basically saying, hey, we sent you guys here with the order to basically just finish what Grodd was already doing, and you're not. What's up? And they're like, oh, there are innocents in these buildings. And he's like, yeah, we know that's the point, so do it. And they're like, no. So at that point, Power Ring starts freaking out for no reason, and Trickster's the one who's basically being singled out by him. He's like, I swear to God, I'm not doing anything. I'm just standing here. And so Power Ring starts firing off shots, and therefore it's rogues against these two now. We see Captain Cold freezing Power Ring's hand, and then Weather Wizard sets up an entire fog for them to hide in. However, as they started trying to attack Deathstorm, they're feeling pretty confident. He's like, oh, you're a Firestorm ripoff. Firestorm's nothing. Deathstorm's like, oh, you don't know me at all. So at that point, Deathstorm takes the fog, separates out the hydrogen from the oxygen, and says, hey, this is now extremely flammable, so we need Trickster and Heatwave to stop doing fire things, lest you all explode. And so at that point, Heatwave's like, God, screw this guy, I'm going after him. But Weather Wizard brings down some rain on Heatwave to cool him off for a little bit. So then Deathstorm comes up to Captain Cold and basically says, I've looked at your DNA, because that's a thing I can do, and you were fused with your cold weapon. So I'm just going to rip that off your DNA right now. And so he does so. Captain Cold is now completely powerless. And then Mirror Master basically says, all right, we're done. We're not going to be able to make it through this now. Everyone into the mirror dimension. So they all jump in, but then as they're jumping into the mirror, Power Ring blasts it. He shatters it, which causes something to go wrong where they are unable to stay in the mirror dimension. And we got Mirror Master, Heatwave, Weather Wizard, and Trickster all showing up in Metropolis. Meanwhile, Captain Cold, he was ending up, I think, in Gotham? I could be wrong. I think that's where he was. Regardless, as they get out, Heatwave's just holding onto the edge of a building because they came out of the side of a skyscraper. So he starts plummeting down to his death, but then Weather Wizard manages to make a vortex that catches him and Trickster in it. So once they all get situated, Mirror Master looks into some reflective plates. He's still able to communicate through the mirror dimension, and he can, as we see, travel through it briefly, but he's unable to stay in there. Things get kicked out a lot faster. So he tells Captain Cold, hey, I'm seeing something else in your area. It looks like Lex Luthor and Superman, but it ain't Superman. And they're doing stuff over in Forever Evil. So we're going to leave you to join that book. Meanwhile, the rest of the group's going to stay here. And Captain Cold says, all right, Mirror Master, you're the one in charge, and your only priority is to get back to my sister and make sure she is safe. That is all you need to do here. So at that point, a person named Archer shows up and says, hey, rogues, you're going to be my golden ticket. And everyone's like, who the hell is this guy? Well, what do you want, kid? What's going on? And Trickster manages to fire off a rocket-propelled boxing glove at his head and knocks him out. And then all of a sudden, Parasite shows up and says, hey, rogues, you're going to be my gold ticket. And everyone's like, why is everyone saying that? It's like, oh, well, the crime syndicate just said that you guys are persona non grata. So they put a bounty on your head, and I'm here to collect. And Parasite is immediately like, look, I don't really care about this. I'm going to kill you. But the only reason I'm doing so is because I need to get closer to Ultraman so that I can feed on him. And everyone's like, Parasite, we've never actually been introduced. We don't know your power set. I don't know what's going on here. So Trickster gets backhanded almost through a window, but Mirror Master manages to get and keep him inside the mirror dimension briefly, to which Trickster's like, you just said you couldn't control this. please don't keep me in here. And he's like, you're fine. Everything's fine. I'm just going to gather everybody and we're all going to pop out of here. So Weather Wizard then brings down a ton of lightning, trying to basically overpower Parasite and get him to explode. But Parasite doesn't have that limit. And Weather Wizard's like, oh, my bad. I just powered you up. So Mirror Master at that point starts, despite the one being quote unquote in charge, he hesitates. He doesn't know what he's supposed to do here. And he basically says, all right, look, we just got to retreat. We got to go now. So he gets Heat Wave through the thing. Mirror Master lets Weather Wizard jump through, and Parasite just crashes through the window saying, oh God, where do they go? So at that point, they show up in Gotham and pop out of Mr. Freeze's ice skyscraper. And as they fall down to the ground, they get caught up in some vines by Poison Ivy, who says, hello, boys, welcome to Gotham. So finally, I get what this book is supposed to be. This book is supposed to be what is going on during Forever Evil in major cities around the DC universe. So we started out in Central City, then we went to Metropolis. Now we're going to be in Gotham next issue. I'm getting it. I'm understanding it now. I'm okay with that. I think that it's would be much better as like tie-in issues rather than one full story where like all we're doing is following a group of ragtag people that are basically holding on for dear life. Now, if it evolves from that, if it changes into something else, I'm good with that. I think that this has a lot of potential, but the way it's showing up now, it basically seems like it's just going to do a quantum leap sort of thing, where it's Mirror Master's going to keep on jumping through, and we're going to see how long it takes him to get back to Central City. So, not opposed, but there's a stronger way to do this that I want to see if we're going to get to. As it stands now, it looks like it's just going to be a bunch of crime syndicate cronies all attacking the rogues for no particular reason besides they were told to. So I'm going to say this is I'm almost going to give it the 7, but I'm going to do a 6.5 just because of the fact that this first 10 pages of this book are word for word just repeating everything that was in the original Forever Evil #2. That's not good if you have to tell the exact same story twice without major perspective shifts. Everything was exactly the same. It was just a different artist. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a 6.5. Not bad, not great, but there.